My stepfather said I had to share my apartment with his kids and start looking for a bigger one because this place is too small for them. I laughed and decided to teach him a lesson and get revenge. I'm Madison. I'm 26. I work full-time in marketing and I've been living on my own since I was 22. Every piece of furniture, every framed print on the wall, every speck of Himalayan pink salt in my kitchen, I earned it. I've worked through grueling internships, corporate nonsense, and freelance gigs that paid an exposure just to get here. My 2-bedroom apartment is small by most standards, but to me, it is a temple. It's rent-controlled, praise be, located in a neighborhood where I can walk to the farmer's market on Sundays and decorate it exactly how I want. There is not a single item inside it that I didn't choose intentionally. I have plants in every room. Candles that smell like warm cedar and bergamot. A tiny espresso machine that could qualify as my soulmate. I love my space. I love my life. Enter the villain of our tale, Tom. My mother married Tom 2 years ago. He is 48, technically attractive in the way men who own boat shoes, without irony, often are, and about as emotionally available as a cardboard cutout. I never really warmed up to him and he never tried to warm up to me. It was like he assumed my approval was included in the marriage license. Tom came with baggage and not the emotional kind, although honestly probably that too, but rather 3 children from his first marriage. Josh, 17, and perpetually scowling at something. Megan, 15 and surgically attached to her phone. And Eli, 12, and somehow always sticky. I met them a total of 2 times. They were not awful, just deeply uninterested in me. We exchanged the kind of small talk you reserve for dentists and coworkers at mandatory birthday parties. There was no bonding, no warm family moments, just awkwardness and a persistent feeling that Tom thought we were all going to become a blended sitcom family without doing any of the work. My mom sold her house recently and moved into Tom's. She claimed it was the right move, but I suspect Tom had more to do with that decision than she let on. I did not insert myself. I stayed in my lane. I sent a congratulatory orchid and got back to work. And then one Tuesday afternoon, my phone rang. I was halfway through writing a campaign brief and sipping a lukewarm latte when I saw his name pop up on my screen. Tom. That alone should have been my warning sign. I answered, figuring maybe it was about Mom. Maybe something had happened. I was not prepared for what came next. Tom said, and I will never forget this because the sheer audacity seared it into my brain. We're going through some changes and we've decided it makes the most sense for you to let the kids stay in your apartment for a while. You should really start looking for a bigger one. That place is way too small for 3 growing children. I blinked. I waited for the punchline. There was none. He genuinely believed that my apartment, which I pay for, furnish, maintain, and love, should now serve as some sort of crash pad for his 3 children. He wanted me to move out. Me, the person who has no connection to these kids beyond an occasional holiday dinner and the unfortunate bond of sharing air with Tom. He was so calm, so matter-of-fact about it, as if it were perfectly natural for a grown woman to surrender her home so that someone else's children could sprawl across her couch and smear cheese of dust on her throw pillows. I laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was surreal. I thought maybe this was some kind of test, a weird joke, a hidden camera moment. But no, Tom was dead serious. I asked him what he expected me to do in the meantime. He said something like, well, it would give you a chance to find something more appropriate for your stage of life. As if I were some poor misguided soul who didn't realize that living alone in peace was somehow a mistake. I asked him if he was offering to pay for this upgrade.